All right, Kenman here, and today we are dyeing the CJRB Feldspar. Yeah, what's everyone think? Let's go. We're set up at the stove. Got my absorbent towels on the ready. I've got a dipping station above. I've got some stuff to talk about to the right. I've got some dye heating up in a pot on the left. The tools are at the ready. The CJRB Feldspar is ready to be changed and transformed. Let's do it. Before we start, I am not sponsored by anyone, and I purchase everything at retail price. I do these videos because I love discussing knives and sharing info and ideas with others. If you have any questions or thoughts, please feel free to comment below. Get a good look at this Feldspar because it's never going to look like this again. All right, no time to waste. No captive pivot. Can I turn one side and get her loose? I can. All right. So let's try to stay organized. How is everyone doing? I'm going to try to talk while I take stuff apart here. This is the 4th installment in my scale die series. I will have links in the description if you would like to go back. I'll probably just make a group or like a playlist. So if you want to go in, you can watch them all as we progress through. I do have several knives, if you've watched in the past, that we plan to do. I just picked up another one that I just did an unboxing of. So lots more blades in the future. Lots of stuff. This scale die project is going to continue. All right, let's see. Okay. I'm just trying to be as delicate as possible so that reassembly isn't that difficult later. Delicate. Boom. Now that is all pretty much intact. I am just going to slide that pivot back in there quickly. Oh, that's the shape. There we go. Just to keep everything happy, because theoretically the knife is still all together minus that, so I can pop that back out, get the scale back on, get her back together quick. Okay, I'm talking too much. Okay, we got the scales. Boom, here they are. Today we're going blue. I was thinking green, but the last minute I decided blue was the color I wanted for this one with those gold accents. So that's what we're gonna do. I've got these hooks if you haven't watched before, so you can kind of dip it in there and be able to access and get to it. I actually dropped one in the die last time, so I'm going to bend the hooks an extra time. Oh, I just realized I'm not totally on camera. I apologize for that. But what I'm doing now is just getting these in here. Once they go in, it starts. And the thing is, if you get air bubbles on the piece, where the air bubble is, the dye does not sit there, and so you're going to get different shades of color in that spot. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm just trying to really kind of dunk them good so that they have a nice coating without any bubbles. Then that way we know that it is just going to dye in an even, uniform way, because we're not trying to get anything weird like tie dyes or anything crazy with the shades. I just want a nice solid even color. So it looks like they're both soaking up dye well without any bubbles. I'm going to kind of just stir this a little bit just in case there's a little dye on the bottom. Okay. And we'll do one more check. Wow, look at this. They're really taking color. They soak. It sits on the outside quite a bit, so it looks a lot darker than it actually is. But it does start to take it pretty quick, which is great. And we're in. I'm just going over the top of them kind of a little bit, just so there aren't any little chunks. I noticed my dye wasn't totally mixed, and there's a couple little spots, if you saw, that could make a darker section. I'm going to shimmy us over. We're going to still kind of have that in the sidelines, but we don't need to worry about that for a little while. And we're going to do a little swap. I'm going to move my tools. I'm going to take this complete unit over there and out of our way. I'm going to slide these over. All right, let's talk a little. We've got stuff that we need to dye. There's some stuff here. This is just going to be soaking for a while if you want to know what's going on. Dye needs to be heated to activate quicker. So we've got it on the stove nice and warm, and that's going to help it activate, go through, and give us our color. But the longer you let it sit, the darker it gets. So we're going to let her sit for a while. Looks like about 6 minutes or so is totally in there. So now we can look at some others and talk about them for a bit. This is the Civivi Vision FG. Has a white G10 scale. I plan to dye. What color would you like to see? Red. Yeah, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And we'll see what color we might make this. Red. And yeah, I like that. Super Lock is fun. I just got this is a white G10 scale as well. This is a Kubi Titus. I saw this. I like the Kubi brand because I just got one and I wanted to try to get a few more from my collection. And this is one that I found. And then I saw that it also has the G10 white scale. And so it would be a good test for before I do the Vision, because the way the color works, you want to do some tests and you can kind of see how dark you want things to be. All the ones that I've done, I did this Odium right here in a blue, and we looked and we saw that the amount of time that I left it in is going to lead me to this kind of shade of blue. So I intend to actually leave this one in longer because I want it darker. I decided to go with the lighter blue on this one because of the black on the clip and the black there. And me personally, black and blue up against each other, if it's a dark blue, I'm not as fond of. A lighter blue doesn't bother me as much. So I went lighter on this, but the one we're doing today, excuse me, does not have any black in it. So I can get that really a dark blue and that'll pop good with the metal accents. We've got a Civivi Mini Asticus. This one has a Damascus blade. So that kind of has an effect on what we might want to do. Someone suggested trying to make a Damascus down the handle, which I'm considering, but the problem with that is dye doesn't hold a tight line, if that makes sense. Like when you put the dye on there, it's going to start to bleed and soak in. And as it soaks in, it's going to leave this edge that's kind of a little bit softer and more bled out, if that makes sense. And then what you've got is it's going to be harder to make those tight lines. And so when you look at that, the design on that Damascus, those lines are really tight. You're not going to be able to get them that tight on here. You'd almost have to do it with like a Sharpie or something, which, maybe that's a good idea. I don't know. Anyway, what color would you do that in if you were to do so? Next up, we've got this CJRB Gobi. It has these really cool orange accents. I'm kind of thinking a green, a darker green with this. Maybe that purple or a darker purple, kind of go off that Lamborghini look. What color would you like to see it in? Coming up pretty soon. Let's take a little break from that. I'm going to shimmy us back over for a second. Let's take a gander. Oh my, my, my. Look at this. Holy cow. Dark. Of course, it's darker than it's going to look. As you see, if it's kind of starting to drip off, it's lightening up. But wow, we're really getting dark already. I might not even need to leave them in that much longer. We'll do a rinse in a second here. Like I said, I do want it to be dark. So I'll go another minute. This is the Sencut Crowley. This is a button lock, a really nice button lock. Sencut, this is my first Sencut that I got. I have two now. But man, they're really nice knives. I know they're kind of on that budget end, but look at this button lock. Tell me that's not just awesome. What color? I have an idea what I think I want to do, but I'm going to let everyone else kind of think about it. Now, if you notice, you can see through this a little bit. You can kind of see that the liner, the little triangles and the stuff, the cutouts inside the liner. So that might show through if I don't make it too dark. So that's something to consider for the dye for this. Anyway, yeah, what else we got? I did the Zhangsheng. This was the first one we did, so I wasn't too worried about it. It's a little bit lighter. I have several dyes from other projects that I've done in the past. And the purple that I grabbed, I thought I grabbed my regular purple, and it turned out I grabbed the one that was called Orchid or something like that. So it did dye true to color. But Orchid is definitely this kind of lighter, softer purple. I personally would like to see it a little bit darker, and maybe I might just throw it in another color and make it a little bit darker. But I mean, come on, flickable chef's knife. Get out of here. Super cool. Yeah, the other one was the Ferrum Forge. We did this with the yellow, and I left it in a really long time. I think yellow would work better if you go a lighter amount. Plus, this is all black liner, so that black liner is going to push through and make the color look a little bit different. But the yellow ended up turning out green, which I actually really like with this knife. I think it looks really great. So far, I've been happy with the results that we've been getting. Let's see, I'll go ahead and lay these out. And then we'll probably take that bad boy out. Boom. So these are the three that we've done so far. Liking where it's at. We've got at least 5, 6 more to do after this. So lots of scale dies coming up. If you are enjoying this, I have lots more to come. All right, I'm gonna get my other stuff ready here. Get this stuff out of the way. Who's excited to see how this goes, huh? All right, we're gonna get our dipping station moved up. I left some of the water from the last time in the dipping station, and it ended up dyeing it a little bit yellow, which is fine. But it's funny that, oops, oh, shite. Good work, Dan. All right, just drop that piece. It's gonna be all right there. We're good to go. Off camera, my bad. Okay, focus. What's going on over here? All right, I'm going right into the rinse. Wow. We are dark. I might be done. We might be done. So what's happening right now is inside this rinse, it's removing the dye that is still sitting on the scales. What happens is if it's still on there, it can continue to react and change the color of the scale. So if you get it in water, you can rinse it off, get any splotches or spots off so that it's a uniform. These look awesome. It becomes more of a uniform color, and if you have like a big spot on it, that spot can continue to make a darker shade and then give you a less uniform. Holy cow, guys. Wow. Oh, it's also leaving, it's making the pattern on the scale. It's almost like these lines. It's like a wood grain. I'll get to it in a second here. I apologize if I'm out of focus. I'm just trying to do a quick rinse here. It's probably all focusing on just my wrist. You get to look at my arm, my veins on my hand. Sorry about that. It's things to think about for future videos when I do them. How I can make them better for you. All right, let's get this out of the way. I'm now going to this. We're going to pat these dry. I'm going to turn off the heat on the dye. Holy smokes. Look at these. Wow. All right. All right, I'm really excited. I don't know how well that's turning on camera quite yet, because they are still wet. And when you're sitting against like a green towel, you know, you might not be getting the same thing that I'm getting right here. I am shooting in 4K, so it should be fairly accurate, and try not to get it all over my hands. It leaves a permanent stain. Like I've said in other videos, what you drop dye on is on everything. Oh crap. Okay, so of course I sent that all onto the table over there off camera. I apologize. That's gonna be a pain in the butt in a second here, everyone. Alright, I'm gonna get this out of our world. We do not need it, and I don't want to accidentally make a mess that we don't need to have. I'm gonna get some of these blades out of my way. Apologize if you can't see who is enjoying the scale die project besides me, because I'm really liking this. Okay, let's get those on a white towel now, and get these dry. Now here's the thing, is we can't reassemble until these are completely dry. We don't want any of the moisture that's on there obviously getting inside the mechanism where the pivot is, and where the liner is and stuff. We want to make sure those are nice and clean and dry and good before we do the reassembly. Realistically, you probably want to let it sit for a while and really kind of dry off. But if I get in here like I did last time, I noticed you can really kind of get all the spots, get all the main dots that are inside the cracks and the grooves, and then you give it a few minutes, a couple rubs. All right, let's take a look here. Whoa. Okay, what do we think of this? So you see the grain? You see that? How that's just, it almost has like a wood grain. I mean, obviously wood is not blue. Let's see if I can, whoa. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Ooh. Tell me that is not fantastic. Woo! I am enjoying this dye process more and more as I do it. You know, a lot of these knives, they sell them in a lot of different shades and types. So, I mean, you can pretty much often buy the handle the color you want it to be. So this isn't fully necessary, but this is something like, I'm a project person. I enjoy doing craft type things, or like just things where it involves some type of a process, and customization is neat. And so it's like you're making something that nobody else really has the exact same. And I kind of enjoy that. Just not the fact that it's unique, but it's just something that you can play around with stuff and make it your own. I'm grabbing these parts over here. Okay, this was here like that. This is the part that I apologize may be the more boring section of the videos, because I'm like fidgeting with putting something back together a little bit more than paying attention to making the video, I guess, per se. Oh, I see how that goes. You have to kind of feed that in there like a disc. All right, I apologize again. I'm off camera. Grabbing all the parts. I whipped them over here underneath this, and we'll probably never find them again. And that is a plate. Okay, I think we're somewhere. All right. Like I said, really enjoying making the videos. I appreciate any feedback. I definitely appreciate all the viewers and all the subscribers for tuning in. I don't have, any big piles of videos from the history. I haven't been around that long. I don't have a large subscriber list. I don't have a bunch of free knives coming in the mail that I can review and a bunch of real expensive things to do. But I am definitely a knife enthusiast. I've been doing this for a really long time. Well, not making videos, but I have knives in my collection from the 90s, early 2000s. I was really kind of buying a lot of stuff. Not as much of more on the high end, but definitely buying things. Really got into it more recently, watching videos and just seeing a lot of the cool stuff that there is out there that's to offer for us. And brought me to where we are here. So now I'm doing these custom dies. I went to school for art. I was in restaurant management for the longest time. But I still love doing artistic type things, and this is definitely one of them. And all right, let's see what we can do here. I'm going to try to slide this pivot out without everything falling apart. Okay, now scale, and there it goes. Okay, and I apologize again for quiet moments in the video. This part right here is a delicate time, but I think we're styling here. Okay, so this is gonna go there. This is gonna work. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I submit that I'm not completely incompetent and may or may not be able to put this back together appropriately. Why does that not want to pop right there? See that? Are these specific to some degree? Ugh, okay, here we go. So, someone tell me a story. All right, got it. Here we are. So, we're going to get this one back on. What does everyone think? Noticing that it's working. All right. The progress. This is going to happen. We're at 22 minutes, but I think it's going to happen. Screwing the pivot back down. Whenever you take a knife apart and you put it back together, centering of the blade becomes a thing. So it's kind of one of those things where you gotta pay attention to that as you're putting it together. I kind of tighten it the certain amount. I've noticed that if I do the pivot first and then attach the liners, I think every knife might be a little different, and there are ways to fix it after you put it together if for some reason it isn't centered. And I actually will maybe make a little video about that in the future. I was talking about some maintenance ideas and stuff. So yeah, it's not something that's unfixable, but it is definitely something you have to dial in and work. It's not just something that will just automatically solve itself. Okay, those two go there. And I am a lefty, so it's going to go in my pocket this way. So I am going to put the pocket clip on this side here. And we are almost done with our fourth custom scale die. Let's see if I can get this little bitty T6 down into that spot. They don't always want to go in well, and they don't grab onto the screw very well, or maybe if I drop it. I feel like when you got it on camera, trying to put something back together just becomes 10 times harder. And I apologize. I wish this was magnetic. It might, but I don't. There we go. All right. We are there. The moment we're almost all been waiting for. I'm going to be patient. I usually tighten one, go back, tighten the other, and then go back, tighten the first one again, and try not to turn too hard, because if you strip that thread one time, that's pretty much the end of it. We look like we're about centered. I'm going to go in and give each one of these a little more love. Go in and tighten that one more time. This is the one that doesn't spin because it's got a captive D. It doesn't look like a pivot. It does have the thing there, but there is a D shape to it. All right, we are centered. I don't know if I made it too tight. I did not. Oh. Wow, go back to the beginning. Look at what it looked like before. What it looks like after. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this real quick and give me 3 seconds. You can hear me running. All right. Coming back for a little quick movie magic finisher. Bada bing, bada boom. Here we are. All right. Die number 4, CJRB Feldspar is complete. Blade is centered. Knife looks good. Knife opens good. Finger flick good. And it is now a custom dark blue with a little gold accent. What does everybody think? Loving it. Let's take a gander here. Twist this out. All right. Wow. Opening skills on camera have been a little less than stellar. You can see the 2 shades of blue there. It is definitely darker. It's not a lot darker, but it's definitely got a darker look to it. So these are the 4 that we've done. What does everyone think? Leave a message in the comments. Tell me if you're liking it, what I can do to improve, what I could do to change, make it better, make it worse. I don't know. What do you want? Focus. All right. I'm happy with the results. I'm thinking some of you might be as well. But we have some more to do in the very near future. Look at that guy. Let's do this one too. These white ones are coming up. What are they going to be? What's up? Tell me what you think in the comments. Give me any, like I said, feedback. I'm going to keep making some more dies. We're having a lot of fun. This looks fantastic. This is my favorite so far. I do really like this knife though. Once I got it, I was playing around with it. I'm just really happy with the shape of this knife, the way it works. It just feels good. It's going to be one that I carry a lot, especially now that it's done. I'm liking the way that blue looks. It just pops really nice. Very happy. Keep them coming. More videos to come in the future. This is going to be it for today. If you enjoy what you see, please hit that like button and subscribe to see more. It helps me out and I really appreciate it. Stay sharp and we'll see you soon.